to Jack Goodchild on the blue line. He manages to get it wide to Jacob Minter. Jack Goodchild with the shot, and the Slough Jets have taken the lead on the power play with 23 seconds remaining as Jack Goodchild, it's Kane Russell with the shot cross goal. No need for the save from Lauday, and Karl finds himself in, and it's 3-1 to the Chelsea Chieftains. They have hit back quickly. And welcome to Zero Pucks Given, the UK ice hockey podcast, hosted by me, Ben Hyde.
And me, Katelin Noah Piner.
Welcome along. This is Zero Pucks Given. Katelin, I mean, last week you had a bit of a baptism of fire with the Huskies Phantoms thing.
Yeah.
There's been another one this week. Obviously,
I know, they're treating me. Thanks, guys.
Financial Times, I can't even call it an article because it's not even journalism. It's just flat out fiction.
Honestly, like, I've never read something quite like it. And the thing that angers me most is it's just targeting it's just targeting women, just in general, not even just in sport, just in general. It's like we can't catch a break. It's just disgusting though. The fact that they've approved that to be posted anywhere as well. It's not just Kitty Drake who wrote it, it's Financial Times, the company. But yeah, it's disgraceful.
I was disgraceful. So surprised to see that it was a woman that had written it. That blew my...
That shocked me when I saw who had written it. I was like, absolutely not. Like, no fucking way, surely not. But there it was, and it's just crazy to me because, like I've said in my statement, I've watched hockey all my life. Not once has a thought gone through my mind, oh, I'm doing this because he's attractive or like I fantasize about him. Like, it's never been like that. And I'm sure all women in hockey will say that. And I know someone commented on the Facebook post saying hockey wouldn't be a thing without hockey mums. Literally, like, there we go. But no, I'm just disgusted, really. And I think all of the hockey community are.
Which, I mean, that's something that this sport has got like no other, is that when you cut one of us, we all bleed. And the community have rallied round together. They've, as a whole, not only just fans, but independent media outlets, the CEO himself stood up against it to say this is not right. As we said, reading through it, you know, it's clear that she did research. I don't think she did extensive enough research to warrant a title of how hockey romance rescued British hockey.
Yeah. Which
has now since been changed to a different word. I think it's how it found, or, you know, whatever they do. The fact
however they worded it.
The fact that they're changing the title of it now, for me, leaves only two options. Either Kitty Drake has got a multitude of platforms that she can go on to try and explain herself, including this one. We would welcome her on here, I believe, to explain herself.
Yeah.
Without wanting to tear a strip off her on purpose or anything. Because at the end of the day, you can't have everything both ways. So we can't go on about, you know, mental health, this, mental health, that, and then not care about her mental health.
Exactly.
It's been a difficult week for her as well. But one of her two options are to come on one of the multitude of podcasts that will be covering it, or two, retract the article and apologize.
Yeah.
I think she'll do the second.
She probably will. Yeah, she probably will. But then I think what she will do as well is probably forget about it and she'll sort of apologize, and then that'll be it. There will be sort of I don't think she'll explain herself. I think it would just be like a sorry, and that's it. But obviously we'll see. But I think the fact that they've had to change the name of the article says enough on how wrong it was. If you're having to change the main title of an article, you've clearly upset some people, and there we go.
Sorry, you didn't laugh there because I just dropped down.
Yeah, I was like, I just see you sort of go back. I thought, are you going to go back?
I dropped down on my chair so slightly, so apologies for sobering that moment.
Yeah, but when I woke up and sort of, at first I hadn't seen the article, and then I saw everyone posted about it, so I thought, right, what's actually happened? And it's quite a long read. It's a chunky article, and as like further down I was reading it, I was like I was actually getting angry because it's just like when when can women just do something that they enjoy without it being involved or like with men? Or it's just, when are we going to catch a break?
I, I know. And one of the people that Kitty reached out to, say one of the people, one of the groups of people that she reached out to was Maddie, Laura, and Jazz over at Girls at the Rink, who have been
Yeah.
on this podcast. I've given them as much help as they've asked for in starting their own. They've done incredible things on TikTok and social media in general, raising the profile of women going to watch hockey. They were contacted by Kitty. They spoke to her. They did get into the sport through this books of
Hmm.
stuff, but almost straight away, the first time they went to a game, completely forgot about that. Because,
Yeah.
oh my God, look at the speed, look at the skill, look at the ferocity. We're so excited by this game. And they in their statement said that they think what they said wasn't used because it didn't fit her agenda.
Which I probably agree with, because I've followed Girls at the Rink for a long time now. Um, and they are all for women going to hockey. Not for that, but just for women going to hockey to enjoy the sport. And the whole article is just that that's not there at all. So I think when you've got like a disagreement with the article point, I think she wouldn't have used that. So
Exactly.
I 100% believe them in what they're saying.
But I mean, and for me, it's a sticky subject actually with everybody, what's going on in the country at the moment with everything in politics and this, that, and the other. I'm a massive believer, in fact, the polar opposite to Anthony Russell at Banners on the Wall. I'm a massive believer that politics and sport actually don't have to mix, and
No,
sport is the escape from everything that's going on there.
I
So
100% agree.
the fact that mainstream media is so untrustworthy because they are working to their own agenda, that doesn't surprise me that that's exactly what she's done, coming from a place like the Financial Times, which like most forms of mainstream media, I just don't think you can trust what they say.
You can't really trust any sort of media company, I don't think. Because obviously they all hire individual journalists.
We're trustworthy. Trust us.
Yeah, we're trustworthy. We're trustworthy. But I just think like high, like very like up there media companies like the Financial Times, like you just you just can't believe everything they put out. Um, but I'm still in shock about the article. I'm sort of still like when people bring it up to me, I'm like, I just still can't believe it's even out there, like that someone's even written that, or someone's even tried to put that point across. Like the fact that it's not even the fact she's wrote it, it's the fact that she's also like thought, oh, I'm going to write an article about this. It's the thought behind it as well. She's obviously taken a long time to research about it. Um, but yeah, I just think it's completely false.
Mm. Yeah, it's been at least 6 months, I would imagine, because people that have put their statements out saying they were contacted, they were saying that was sort of February time.
Mm,
It's been at least 6 months in the planning. Um, Obviously, as soon as it happened, I messaged you because I was like, you know what, I can make a comment about this, but it's going to be much better coming from you, uh,
yeah.
especially with the amount of time that you've been watching the game. It's something actually that I've not got round to it yet, but I've said to my daughter, I'm going to send you this link and I want you to read this and I want you to tell me what you think, because my daughter found ice hockey because it was something for me and her to do together.
Mm.
And I have a serious issue with someone stating that that's not the reason why she would want to go.
Yeah, that is the exact same with me and my dad for football. It's he took me when I was young and I enjoyed it, and it's time that you can spend with your family, and it's ice hockey has always been a family sport. It's fun to watch. It's a day out as well, especially an away game. It's a day out. It's and that's for everyone. And ice hockey's always been for everyone. And the fact that Kitty Drake has sort of taken that away from women in sport in the sport is just not acceptable.
No, I think, as I've said, I think a lot of the statements have been absolutely bob on. Uh,
Hmm.
your statement in particular was terrifically worded. It had a lot of traction as well online. And
Yeah, I do appreciate all the recognition, guys. So thank you.
I know the guys at 3 on 3 did a good episode with Sophie, who creates some sort of Nottingham Panthers themed content on TikTok. I had a listen to that yesterday, and that was really good as well. So it's like everything else in ice hockey, the mainstream media don't seem to want to get involved unless it's negative.
Hmm.
As per usual, we stand up, we stand as one.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
a good thing to take out of this whole situation is like the whole hockey community have come and stood together. And I appreciate that as a woman in hockey. So I think we all do as well. So yeah,
But like you say, hockey is for everyone. It flies in the face of the last kind of gender issue that's brought out in the sport that seemed to create a lot of division. That seems to have gone away ever so slightly. Although I had heard at the weekend about an issue with a Solent Amazons player playing that perhaps shouldn't have been playing under the new ruling, but there's not much about that out there, so
yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. Who knows what? It's probably not best to broach that without the facts.
Without the full 100% facts, yeah.
Absolutely,
But
'cause-
yeah, it is nice to just see the whole hockey community come together and stand against the article.
absolutely.
So yeah,
Well, that all aside, we know we
yeah,
said this week we joked that we probably would be here weekly. And look at
here
us,
we are.
we are weekly, and we had a pretty decent weekend. The it started with a bit of a damp squib though because we were expecting a cracking game between Solent and Invicta. The old 5 p.m. face off down in Gosport, which is brilliant because it gives you loads of time to get in the pub after the game.
Oh yeah, and the pub across the road from the rink is lovely.
Good in there. But that game was unfortunately postponed, and Planet Ice Gosport's going to be closed for at least a week. I haven't seen anything today to say that it's going to be open this weekend.
Open, yeah. It's
It's going to be closed.
like we said last week, we sort of joked last week how the rink was like so iconic for how crap it was, but obviously if it can't run, it's a bit of an issue, but not just for Solent, for the women's, the Div 2 team, the juniors. It's an issue for everyone because obviously I don't think Solent are playing there this weekend or playing at all, but it's an issue for the whole Solent teams.
Yeah, yeah. So I think there's also figure skating and stuff that goes on down there. So there's
Exactly.
a lot that's going to be fallen by the wayside until they get it sorted. But hopefully, Planet Ice have got their fingers on the pulse and are getting it.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
It's a bit of a shame actually because there's that massive new leisure centre like opposite the ice rink that was built fairly recently, and you kind of think, you know what, you could have put a
Refurbed it a bit.
chunk on the end of that, and then when it's finished, then close the old one. And but
Mm.
I think I'd said to Muzza once before, I don't think the Devils would have the same feel if they were playing in somewhere all bright, shiny, and clean with high ceilings and
Yeah, with actual seats as well. It just wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be Solent.
cold unless you've sat on that rubber matting down at Gosport.
How I love that.
I think Chieftains are down there in December, which I'm trying to get down there too, but I know it's such a cold one.
Especially in December.
But we did get one game on Saturday, and it was at the High Road as the Swindon Wildcats 2 made a trip to the Streatham Redhawks, which I tell you what, they did bloody well, I think. They took the lead in the first period.
Yeah, I mean, again, Swindon just clearly doing what Ken wants, standing strong. I mean, if you're a Swindon fan and you're losing only 5-2 to Streatham, you're looking at that as thinking that's good. That's a good performance. But yeah, going 1-0 up, in the space of I think it was about 5 minutes, in the first 5 minutes, it's great for them.
But as well, I mean, they only actually had 11 shots across the whole game. And
That's
score,
crazy.
managed to score 2 goals.
At Streatham as well, like give them credit for that.
Yeah, I don't think that Brett Shepherd will actually be too happy about that, having a 9 shot, like 9 save evening and
Yeah.
twice.
But
But
no, I just think as well with Streatham, it's a situation of I know Swindon took the lead to go 2-1. As soon as Streatham score that second, if they score that third, it's sort of game over because then they're a bit like Chelmsford, they're going to score a few consecutive goals, which they did.
yeah, when they get on a run, and particularly the players that they've got that get on a run, the likes of Danny Ingoldsby, JJ Pitchley, Jared Lane getting on the score sheet. You don't actually see Jared pop up on the score sheet that regularly. Quite
But
nice.
no, like you said, people like Danny Ingoldsby and JJ Pitchley, they're going to pop in one, and there we go.
I've got to admit, JJ's one of my favourite players to watch.
Is he?
Just, and not even when he hasn't got the puck. Watch him when he hasn't got the puck, and that's when
Mm.
you see just how good he really is.
Yeah, I think that's when you see most players how actually good they are when they haven't got the puck because they're thinking about what their team are doing but yeah.
Where they're going to be. I think it was the playoffs last year in the semi-finals, Streatham against Chelmsford at the Riverside, and Pitchley and he said Nicky then Ryan Watt and Danny just they just run amok. No
Yeah.
look passes that they all know exactly where each other's going to be. It was, yeah, it's beautiful stuff to watch. But and Danny Ingoldsby very very deservedly got an A on his chest this year as well, which is a nice touch for Danny. Hopefully, we have messaged. I think Danny will be on later this year.
Oh,
So that'll be.
that that'll be good. That'll be fun.
Yeah, a 5-2 win for the Red Hawks on the Saturday night at the High Road, and the Sunday would see them travel to Chelmsford. So let's move on to the Sunday. Oh no, beg pardon. There was one other on the Saturday.
Flat the Slough
A
Romford
shock
game.
one, yeah. Whoa, we
Yeah, I mean,
had no blood
I
this year, hadn't we?
I couldn't believe it. Obviously I saw the video of the fight, which we'll get onto in a moment first, and then I saw the score and I was like, oh, um, couldn't actually believe it. I know I was out, I was actually on my way home and I was in shock. My mouth dropped like 15-0. Just I weren't expecting it at all.
No, I mean they're Slough are an incredible side. They attack with such ferocity, so
Yeah.
fast. Um,
I mean, with the likes of the Moore brothers, like again, they know where each other are at all points. But yeah, I just insane, insane domination of the game, clearly.
yeah, I mean the opening 7 minutes, they were 4-0 up in the opening 7 minutes.
That that sets it up really, don't it? That sets it up. You can sort of tell from that Romford were just not there.
Well, I mean, it's not, they didn't really go their short benched either. They had, a fair amount with the
Hmm.
Slough will always run four lines. Slough have
Yeah.
got, they will always run four lines. I think Max Van Mullum took the opening part of the game and was pulled on 47 minutes, I think, with the score at 12. But then we get to the fight. I mean, when I saw that Alex Cole had headbutted Brandon Miles, I thought that something had gone on within the Slough team. But,
Yeah.
but
I didn't realize because I messaged you, didn't I? I was like, I don't know who the goalie is. I can't quite tell who it is from the video.
yeah, Alex Cole was the backup goalie for Romford that evening. My initial thought was it must be Sonny Phillips. I know Sonny likes a bit of a tear up.
Yeah. Um, I mean, fair play to Alex Cole because you not only are you shoving someone, you're shoving Brandon Miles. Everyone knows Milesy is known for this. He's not a stranger to the whole fighting situation. But the headbutting is just so uncalled for.
To be fair, I think the cross check is uncalled for as well. I mean,
Oh, of course it is, yeah.
that's part of what starts it all off. And when Slough they run that lines on that particular line, it would be Brando that takes that role of getting in front of the keeper and trying to get between the two D men and
Hmm,
in that traffic to maybe get a tip. And that's just part of the game. I'm not entirely sure
yeah,
what the keeper thinks he's got the right to cross check
to
him.
do it. But
In my
yeah,
opinion,
like,
he got what he deserved.
oh yeah, 100%. I'm so, and this is really weird because normally it's like you don't touch the goalie, but in this situation, he shouldn't be touching Brandon like that. Shoving him is so uncalled for, but then you've just conceded, and then you're mouthing off, and then you go and headbutt. Why are you making it worse for yourself?
Mm. Yeah.
Just so confused. Again, a moment. It's not even a moment of poor judgment. It's just a moment of quite like stupidness, really.
Well, I mean, anyone who's joined us on YouTube, I'll run the video over, us talking about it. But the Hockey Fights UK shared a few good angles of it. It's you need to hang on for the final punch, which obviously something was said as Brando was skating away. Well, not even skating away on his own; he was being taken away.
Taken away.
Uh,
I've got to say, I didn't finish the whole video, and then you messaged saying, "Have you watched the end?" And I rewatched it, and I felt bad, but I did just laugh because it's just comedy. It's just comedy gold.
and to be fair as well, I mean, one of the lovely things about Brandon Miles is the guy is such a sweetheart.
He's
I love him dearly. He's so great. But this is a part of his game, and if you're on the ice, you should know that that is a part of his game.
Yeah, everyone knows Brandon Mars. This is what he does. This is what he does. So why are you entertaining it? I know you're losing heavily, but you're losing heavily, so why are you even bothering with it? Just sit down and just chill, pretty much.
To be fair, I mean, Romford, they did have a game the following night as well where they could maybe try and get some things right that went wrong on the Saturday.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, for the way that game stood 15-0 doesn't look good. They were scrappy against Invicta last week as well. You can see that there's some players there. They've got good players. It's just going to take a little bit of time
Yeah,
for Romford to settle in. They've lost the spine really in losing Pascal and Dervish
they
and
have. Yeah, because obviously, if you go to well, when you went to Romford last year, like you said, they've got Pascal and Dervish, and they're sort of the main two players that stand out for them. Losing them both, and again, not replacing them, which has been an issue for a few of the lower in the league clubs this season. You've got to replace them, and they haven't, and that's clearly showing with their scores.
yeah, 'cause I mean, unfortunately, what they've got is they've got a really good group of youngsters coming through,
Hmm.
and the experienced players are now all a year older, maybe an inch or two slower.
Slower.
So yeah, I think it'll come. I think they'll make themselves more difficult to beat. I think would probably be what Ethan and Scotty are going for.
Yeah.
To look at that result and say that's not good enough. Yes, we might not score, but let's keep that score down.
Yeah. I mean, even like, if they had scored a few goals, if it was like 15-4, it's like, well, okay, you've scored. It's just the fact they haven't scored. Slough have not conceded, and obviously, again, Slough are just so solid, just defense, forwards. It's just crazy, but I honestly still can't believe it was 15 now.
19 shot shutout for Matt Smittle in nets for Slough, who
Mm.
my memory serves me correctly, didn't concede for the first four games of last season.
I can't remember that far back, unfortunately. So much has gone on.
It was at least three because I definitely got a message from I think it was from Christian Moore saying I don't think any other team has started with three back-to-back
Back
shutouts.
to back shutouts, yeah. I think I do. I remember them having a couple. I don't know how many though.
Yeah, I think it was at least three, but we'll have a look back and have a
We'll
look.
have a look at in a bit. Then going on to the Sunday, we had Romford in action again at home against Solent. Solent again just dominating the game clearly, and Romford not scoring again. Um, but yeah, the three goals came from Trav Penny, Charlie Wedge, and Harry Harcup. The first two came in quick succession, which I would have thought maybe Romford then would have sort of turned on a bit and just been like, we need to go and get a goal, but clearly not. And then Harry Harcup came with the goal about 10 minutes later, and
All in the
yeah.
period as well. So it's kind of like that. There was a few penalties in the first period where both teams kind of had chances, although a lot of that was going off together. That the first penalty was one of each. The
Hmm.
he was one of each. There was a lot of nickety pickety throughout this game by the looks of it, including a bit right at the end.
Right at the end, yeah.
Richie Pickering, do you know who he is? And Chris Necrosvicius nailed it. Um, but I think, yeah, I mean, this is typical Solent. We're going to shut you down. We're going to shut you out. We're going to out systems you, and we're going to take the points.
Yeah, absolutely. Clearly, they've just been very, very solid, and they've had that second period. And I think probably Alex has just gone get a couple of goals in this one, sort of kill the game off. Um, but yeah, again, like not really much to say because it's just Romford. There's clearly something not quite right there. I mean, it's obviously a better scoreline from the night before, but surely, like from the night before, they would have been a bit more motivated to go and do something better. But again, nothing.
No, I mean, obviously, we're just looking at stats on
Yeah,
stats
we're
on.
looking at stats, so I weren't there. Unfortunately, I
I was
can't be at every game.
gonna get the stream. Actually, I was gonna do one of two things on Sunday. I was either gonna go to Chelmsford Streatham on my own when I got back from my weekend away, or I was gonna get the stream of this, and it ended up I was too hungover to do either. Um, but yeah, I mean, a 5 shot save game for Max Van Mullen. Blaze Pass backing him up there. Obviously assumed Alex Cole wouldn't have been available for the for the Saturday.
No.
Saturday. and a 26 shot shutout for Aaron Taylor. Um, it just goes, and to be fair with Solent, which is something that as well that Alex Murray would admit, they are better on bigger ice. Their systems
Hmm.
work better on bigger ice. So that's yeah, for me, for them to just go there, shut them out 3-0, like I say, 3 goals in the second period, bish bash bosh, game over, nice and solid for the third. Let's get the fuck home with our 3 points, stick their country roads on the bus on the way back.
Yeah.
And they go home looking at the table thinking, yeah, that looks pretty.
Yeah. Exactly what Alex would have wanted them to do, and they did it.
Yeah, and like I say, they still will always be one of my favourite teams to watch. Um, but it will we'll see what Alex has to say about it, because Alex Murray has sent us his coach's thoughts from their weekend, which ended up obviously being only one game after the cancellation of the Invicta game due to the
Victor
problems
on
with
a
Planet Arm.
Saturday, yeah.
So let's have a listen to what Muzza had a thought of.
Hey, yeah, strange weekend for Solent Devils this weekend. We scheduled for our first double header of the year, which would have been Invicta at home and Romford away. But as many of you will be aware, our game against Invicta at home was postponed, with the rink closing Saturday morning, following an issue Friday night. That's extended now, obviously, as again, most of you have probably seen and heard that the rink is remaining closed now till Friday. And yeah, they're just hoping trying to get that fixed as soon as possible to get the rink back up and running, which is a little bit of a worry. But there were lots of people down helping yesterday. Lots of the team were down helping out, sort the ice. Other members of, other rink users, recreational teams, junior club members, figure skaters. Really was sort of a, community-led thing, even though it's not a community um, based sort of facility. It's people wanting to use that ice. So yeah, we're hopeful that they fix the issues that are obviously causing them to have to close last weekend, and we'll look to reschedule that fixture against Invicta, which is a little bit frustrating because we'd have loved to have played them again after the weekend before, where we felt that game got away from us. So turned into a single-legged half weekend against Romford away, and they'd had a tough fixture away themselves on the Saturday against Slough. But we knew that at home they're a different team, and also when you lose like that, it kind of wakes everyone up. So we call it like the wounded badger effect. So yeah, it was one of those where we were confident going into the game, but mindful that you've got a team on the other side there looking to make an immediate bounce back. And it's a strange game. I love playing at Romford. The ice rink is fantastic. The ice is lovely, and we play really good hockey there. We just struggled to score there. But I did say to the guys that look, we needed to spread our scoring up the lineup, so we changed our lines up a little bit, added some depth elsewhere, and in the end we took a 3-goal lead. 3-goal win, and felt like we were in control pretty much all the game. They had a couple of chances off our mistakes and rushes, but in terms of zone time possession and high danger chances, I think they were predominantly ours. I think we kept them away pretty well. They did have a couple of good chances. They got a couple of good young players, but I think overall we did well. The power play was okay. The penalty kill was great. We killed off a 5-on-3. And yeah, a shutout for Aaron is probably deserved this year. So really pleased for him. So yeah, positive weekend in terms of the away picture to Romford. A slight unknown and a bit of a worry with the rink, but fingers crossed we get that sorted, and we've now got a weekend off. So chance for a few more guys to rest up and get back to full strength and head into the weekend after that.
Yeah, I think he's spot on there, and terrific
Yeah.
what he said about the whole community of Solent coming to try and get the rink back up and running.
Yeah, that's really nice. Obviously, it proves just how much that rink means to a lot of people in the area. And I hope everything's okay there. It sounds pretty serious. So I do hope they get that sorted soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to a couple of Solent fans. I said, the last thing you want to do is play your home games away, because you just lose that little something that, especially with a rink like Gosport. You
Yeah, especially with exactly like you said, especially with a rink like that.
But we'll move on the Sunday then, and we'll move into Kent, where I tell you one of the things I saw on Instagram. Uh, the other Alex Cole now, not the the ridiculous Romford goalie that thought he had a good idea that turned out to be quite a bad idea. But Alex Cole, the Slough D man, instead of going home back towards the sort of Portsmouth area on a Saturday night after Slough's win, he went to an extremely nice hotel in Canterbury in Kent, hung his dirty, sweaty hockey gear up in a very nice hotel room, and then made use of their spa. So that was,
Oh, great way, great use of Kent then.
I love him. What a geezer. Uh,
Yeah, what a player as well.
well, we said last year actually, me and him we speak quite regularly, that he was one of the catalysts that actually pushed Slough on, because their youth has always been very good, but the addition of that experience of Alex Cole, Brandon Miles, Neil Lydiard, and the return, although he's still young, of Juha Lindgren as well.
Hmm.
It all kind of fed into how well they were doing, and obviously they've started this season as well, despite the early defeat to Streatham. They've started it in really, really good shape.
Yeah, like you said before, you can't buy experience like that.
No, no. But this was Challenge Cup. This wasn't league. So
Hmm.
an opportunity perhaps to play around a little bit, and try things out. Took the lead in the first through Juha Lindgren on the power play. Obviously, they're pretty deadly on the power play. In fact, I think last year they were even more deadly short-handed, which is a
It,
is a worry. But
yeah, it's crazy.
it was, to be fair, from what I've read online following the game and spoken to some fans that were there, it was fairly even
Mm.
throughout the game.
Again, like I said last week, Invicta, they seem so strong this year. Again, losing only by 2 goals to Slough, they're gonna take positives from that. Some of the fans will probably look at that and think, bloody hell, we had a great chance there.
The fifth goal was an empty netter as well, so it's you know
They've obviously tried to get
it was literally 11 seconds from the buzzer, but
yeah,
with an empty net. So yeah, virtually that is a 4-3 loss. There's not really much you can do about an empty net away.
yeah,
From what I'm told, though, occasionally, most of the time you see an empty netter, it's just been lobbed up from one end to the other. From what I told, it was actually beautifully worked between Timo Lindgren and Ollie Hemmings-Mayer. So Ollie Hemmings-Maher, apologies.
Mhm.
I think the highlights are actually already out on Invicta's YouTube channel, so definitely worth having a look for them.
yes,
We await the highlights coming from Slough's YouTube channel of their 15-0 win, so we can see this Christian Moore goal that I think we were talking about it. It may have been likened to the Drew Campbell on the floor backhand from a couple of years ago.
yeah. I mean, scoring from off the floor is brilliant, anyways. But we'll hopefully see the video soon.
Yeah, a 5-3 win for Slough, but for Invicta, another goal for Danny Gatenby. Mad Stoon getting back on the score sheet, which now
Yeah,
he's going to be one of their top scorers.
yeah. I mean, 2 in that game already. Um, yeah,
And
not
I'm
really much
sure
more
as
to
well,
say.
it was similar as to what Muzzer said. I'm sure Karl would have actually been really disappointed at not getting that game on the Saturday, because especially where it's such an early start in Gosport. Yes, it's a bit of a long drive, but you've got more time to recover, because come 8 o'clock, you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
Your legs can recover, your brain can recover, and then you get ready to go the next day. Plus, that's always been so competitive between Invicta and Solent that was a real fire start of that game to go.
Yeah, it's one of them games you wish it was sort of not that game that had got cancelled. Obviously, you wish no games get cancelled, but out of the 3 that were on there, you're probably like, oh, for God's sake, why Solent and Victor?
Yeah, that one was always going to be a doozy. But say after
Yeah,
a one game weekend, they're now 0-3 in the Challenge Cup. I think it's a busted flush for Invicta now, the Challenge Cup.
yeah,
But as we said, a chance for the teams to try things, experiment with some lines.
exactly. Especially with Invicta now, if they're sort of they pretty much know that they're not really gonna
Yeah, it's a good
compete. Just
young.
experiment with it, see different things, how they work.
But let's see what Karl Lennon's thoughts were on that Sunday game.
We learnt on Saturday morning pretty early on that the game in Solent would be postponed. So it was just the one game for us this weekend on Sunday at home to Slough. And we didn't have the best of starts. We were pretty sluggish off the bat. And honestly speaking, they had a few good opportunities and a bit of zone time that we struggled with. But thankfully, through the course of the first period, we grew in stature and we had our own opportunities and chances that we just didn't manage to take. And toward the end of the period, we got punished for that. They scored a power play goal through traffic, and we found ourselves behind during the break. We obviously rallied during that period break and decided how we were going to slightly adjust our way of playing, and thankfully that paid off pretty quickly. A nice pass from Luca through the middle to Mads, and he was coming through the zone at speed and managed to then finish with his backhand past Smittle in goal, and a really nice goal. And it was really, really good play to see coming through from the team. And yeah, we looked in a really strong position there. And then I guess somewhat against the run of play, I felt like at least we conceded a pretty sloppy goal in zone from a face-off and bit of a scrappy finish. And yeah, back down 2-1, but 1-1 on the period, and something to take from that. And of course, we're in a sort of unfavourable position within the Challenge Cup at the moment, whereby we had 2 losses on our first weekend. So we knew we had to throw everything at it in that third, and we did. We started extremely well. We scored a nice goal on the power play from Danny Gattenby. Some nice work in the corner from Aaron and Ollie in order to get some space there. And yeah, we took the momentum from there, and Mads popped up with another goal. Good performance this weekend by him, and he got his second. And we looked like the team that was going to probably go on and get something. But it was the nature of the game, a little bit end to end at times. And Slough again from another face-off managed to force one home. We lost track of a player on the back post, and they put it in, and then we're 3-3, and that's probably a fair reflection of the game, in my mind at least. And I was obviously very disappointed with the sort of conclusion, whereby I felt we were let down by the officials. There was a really soft call on Danny in the corner. Physically, he's a big lad and strong, and he just outmuscled one of their players that were forechecking, and we got given a holding penalty, which didn't really make any sense at all. It was more a body-to-body check in the corner. And, we found ourselves down a man and on the penalty kill, and they scored from that power play. And yeah, it was frustrating really, because I don't think we deserved that on the night. And then they get the empty net there at the end, and the score looks a little more favourable to them. And I would hope, at least in the last 5 minutes of a game, that the officials have kind of put the whistle in the pocket when it's tied like that and let us sort of battle it out. And that wasn't the case. So look, we know we'll get our bounces across the course of the season, and we'll have our hardships, and that's just the way that sport normally is. But it was particularly disappointing, because I think even strength on the game, we were 2-2. So we played a good night of hockey there, and unfortunate on the wrong side of it. We have a very tough weekend ahead, back-to-back games against Streatham, and we've been there already this year. So we have some sort of familiarity with the environment and the team that they have, and know how strong they are. And back-to-back league and cup games. So everything's on the line this weekend, and we're looking forward to it. Cheers.
That's some weekend for them, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously you mentioned it being league and cup. I'm pretty sure is the league one first. I don't know, but either way, whichever way round they are, if I'm an Invicta player, I'm thinking give it my all in the league game. Not too worried about the cup game, because they're not really competing in it.
No, I mean, if that is the Challenge Cup, then yeah, because I can't remember what the groups are actually for the cup.
But there's all different groups, aren't there?
Yeah, I think by the looks of it, actually, they're both league/cup fixtures. So
okay, right.
Yeah, so they're not Challenge Cup either one.
They're not Challenge Cup, so it's going to be a really tough weekend then.
Really important games.
Both important, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think Karl's wrong there actually. When you look at the balance of play, yes, as he said, Slough obviously had a lot of zone time in that first period, and they are just absolutely deadly on the power play. But that's
they are.
Yeah, but still,
that's one thing you don't want to be getting against Slough is penalties.
No, absolutely not. And speaking of penalties, as we move on to the Riverside Chelmsford versus Streatham on the Sunday night, a distinct lack of penalties considering the tensions normally between.
Yeah, especially with the Chieftains and Redhawks going against each other, only 4, and one of them just being a bench minor as well. So realistically, it's like 3 penalties, which is crazy.
I think, unfortunately, Paints and Cliff are so busy they've not been able to do a coach's thoughts this week. But I think they would both say that that's part of the game they were happy with. Because these teams have got such good players, but the good players are the ones who tend to get themselves in a little bit of penalty trouble.
Yes,
you need them on the ice, not in the box.
Especially in a game like this. Obviously last week going through the whole month with Chelmsford's results, this is the exact response that Chelmsford fans would want. And it sort of seems like this is what they've been working up to go and beat Streatham.
I think, well, as I said, we haven't managed to hear from Cliff because he's been incredibly busy, but the written thoughts that he put out with Chelmsford said that this was possibly the best performance of his time there.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard from the fans, that can't be argued with. They were all over the ice from start to finish. I actually think one change in the roster this week that could well have been a catalyst for this was Tom Saw being back.
And obviously he got the second goal for him as well,
which was a really, really good finish, close range on the rebound. He managed to shape his body very quickly afterwards. A lot of the hard work was actually done by John Beldicos for that goal, who I'm told was incredibly lucky to not get the Man of the Match award. Sunday, played very, very well indeed. The first goal, which it's out there on some of the sort of the private Chelmsford groups. I'm not sure if it's out there. It will be on their website, actually, if you look at the Chieftains website. And I can't remember David's YouTube handle, but he puts the Chieftains highlights on YouTube.
Right.
Cam Bartlett scored from behind the goal line, sort of wide left of the goal, and hit it off Milton's back and into the. And he clearly meant it.
Meant it, yeah. So, honestly, but both of them, like, insane players. Again, 2 players that they know each other off the back of their hands. They can literally play with each other with their eyes closed and know exactly where they are.
They can. Does it fly in the face of what we said last week about the fact that they need an import to bolster that roster? I don't think it does fly in the face. I think it's an incredible performance.
Yeah, great performance, but I still think they probably do
need a little bit extra.
Yeah, because it's obviously been proven that they can perform well exactly like they would have wanted to, but it's also been proved this season that there can be games where they are lacking that goal scoring player.
Which hopefully now, I mean, it is as much of the roster he gets to train in as possible, where they can work on things like that. Touching on actually back on Solent, that's something. Obviously, I know they haven't got a game this weekend anyway. But the closure of the rink for the entire week means that training is off for everybody, which just can put you so far back when you've just got into
rhythm of it. Yeah,
pre-season. Yeah, you're just finding your rhythm, and I think that's actually been a factor for a lot of teams. Is the stuttering start of the season this year with one game, weekend off.
Yeah, it's been really, really odd because normally it's like the first weekend is like mid-September and everyone's got a game. The fact it was like one game the very start of like September, then it was like 2 games the second weekend or whatever it was. It's probably put all teams sort of out of like routine, really. They haven't been able to find a routine either.
No. But a 3-1 win for Chelmsford in the league on Sunday night, not league and cup. They're in the opposite group to Streatham, so they've got a tough job now to get top 2 in that group and qualify for the semis. I think they're going to have to beat Slough. I think.
Yeah,
to get that.
I think with the start they've had, they're going to have to really push.
34 save evening for Ross Miller, who I believe took the Man of the Match award.
I'm pretty sure he did, yeah.
And he will actually be with us within the next couple of weeks. We'll be having Ross on, which is going to be really, really interesting to talk about. Obviously, his time playing all the way through from all the teams he's played for, Oxford and now to Chelmsford. And
yeah, obviously Ross is a familiar face to me, so it'd be nice to catch up with him.
well, that's why I wanted to make him the first guest with you on board. It was
Yes, gonna be easy for me.
easing you in. But yeah, terrific result for Chelmsford. I had some wonderful messages from the fans who were all just so excited with how that game went. And it's always nice to see my own fans happy.
Happy, yeah. It is, especially after the start that they've had to watch.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So I'm massively gutted that I was too hungover to make it to that. Certainly would have been a good one.
Maybe you shouldn't go more often and they'll have performances like that more.
Don't say that. So the final game then, League and Cup. It's up in Swindon. Flip reverse of last week because
last Sunday
down to the Vindico, and man, they showed off their goal scoring prowess this time.
Yeah, they did. It's funny actually because obviously you said last week on the pod you had a Cardiff fan sort of message you after your preview with Casey, just saying like, "Oh, do you think Swindon are going to do well?" And 2 games have proved that Cardiff fan wrong. I just think Swindon are just they're doing really well, and I think they're gonna be really competitive this season. They're doing exactly what Ken wants, clearly. But to score like 11 goals, and they started off, didn't they? They Cardiff were the first ones to score. They were the first ones to score.
Led through Josh Paul early on in the first period. Big rig Joe Llewellyn getting one of the other goals for Cardiff.
And then Ellis Shepherd at the very, very end.
Yeah, player coach Ellis Shepherd right at the end, knocking one back before a final goal from Sammy Ray. But a good weekend from Shannon Taylor, 2 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah, especially from obviously he's had a long-term injury and he's been obviously assistant coach and coach of Oxford. So obviously it's nice to see him back on the ice, but also him to be scoring. But yeah, to get 2 goals in one of your like second, third games back after being out for so long, it's great.
Yeah, 2 plus 2. He could be up in the running for one of the stars of the week there.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, Ken is another one whose week has just run away with him, and he's not been able to get any thoughts into us. Although he desperately wanted to, so he will definitely be there next week with that. And I say a lot of the other coaches, now that we are kind of going to bounce back into the weekly theme of doing things, they can get back into their routine
of sending it on a Monday night,
a Monday morning or a Monday evening, so that we can get it into the podcast for the week. But yeah, a terrific win for the Wildcats. For the Fire, I mean. That Fire fan that messaged me about Swindon, and Swindon would obviously be one of those teams that they look at and think, right, that's where we've got to take points. We've got to take points from the teams around us. We've got to take points from Swindon. We've got to take points from Romford. We've got to try and take something from Invicta if we can.
Yeah.
And if we can go down to Solent and make it difficult, we can do it that way. But yeah, I think this has shown actually that Swindon have taken the step where they're now saying, well, we're definitely taking points off Cardiff and we're going to take them off Romford, but we might nick some off Chelmsford, which we have, or me might nick one off Streatham, which we gave
exactly
a heart attack.
To think as well, like this is their second season as a team. It's a great path to be going on.
Yeah, I think it's a really
good
start for them. I mean, in that cup group, actually, I'm just going to get the cup group up now so we can have a look, because that's the one where they could have a chance. Swindon in that cup group to sneak themselves into a semi-final place, and then over 2 legs, who knows what happens. So in that group A, they are sitting top at the moment with 2 wins from 3 games. Solent are there with 2 wins from 2, so they're both on 6, and it's Chelmsford and Cardiff sort of sitting at the bottom of that group. So it's going to be difficult
I think another thing with Cardiff, obviously they've lost 2 teams around them, with like obviously Stars not being a team and MK going down. That's also not helped them because they haven't got someone that's going to be, how do I put it, like worse than them, if that makes sense. They haven't got someone that they can say, right, we can definitely take points from them. I think Swindon was the only one, but now after their performances, they're probably like, we're probably not going to take many points from Swindon now. But yeah, obviously it's just, I think they're probably going to be bottom, which is a shame.
Someone's got to be bottom though.
Someone's got to be bottom, and I think like I said, with Stars and MK not in the league, it was sort of going to be them.
Yeah.
I think
the other cup group, actually, while we're on the cup, League Cup / League Cup, Britain Cup, whatever they're calling it, Slough Jets, they've played 2-1-1, one overtime loss, so they've got 4 points. The Streatham Redhawks with the overtime win that came over the Slough Jets, that leaves them with 2 points in third. But in second, it is Invicta that got the one win that they took against the Romford Buccaneers. So, yeah, that's again another one. If Invicta can kind of nick a point or two off of Streatham as well, Streatham could really struggle to make the cup semi-final as well, which it will make it very interesting, particularly if Swindon hold on and win that group, and then Swindon face Invicta in the
Victor. It would be a very good game.
Big chance for Swindon, I think, the cup. Really big chance.
Yeah, like I said, they're gonna be a great team this season. And yeah, it's nice to see a team that was obviously in the lower the lower part of the league last year progressing. Clearly something's going right in their system.
Well, that's what this league is about. I wouldn't have said it's a development league. I think NRHL 2 may that banner, but for what Swindon have got, Swindon's setup is perfect.
Yeah, like we were saying last week, to have like juniors, all ages, to then go to NIHL 1 to national. Yeah. It's literally perfect.
Early morning skill sessions and all sorts that they're doing at Swindon is clearly doing the trick. And for what good it does 5 weeks into the season, we'll have a look at the table. Solent, they're still first. They've got 10 points. Swindon Wildcats, they're in second. 3 wins from 5, 2 losses. They've got 9 points. Slough Jets in third, 2 wins from 3. Invicta Dynamo's in fourth, 1 win from 2. Streatham Redhawks in fifth, 1 win from 3. Streatham Chelmsford Chieftains, 1 win from 3 in sixth. And then Cardiff and Romford, 7th and 8th. 2 games for Cardiff, no wins. 3 games for Romford, no wins. So I would imagine the first encounter between those two will be fiery.
Yes, that is where Cardiff are probably looking at right now and thinking we have to go there and win. But then again, that's probably the same with Romford. So that'll be a good game.
That will. Let's have a little look at the fixtures for the coming week. Because as we said, we know that
Invicta and Streatham have a double-header weekend against each other. Romford are facing Slough again. And then Cardiff Chelmsford as well.
It is at the Sapphire though on Sunday, isn't it? That Romford against Slough.
Yes, it is at the Sapphire. So maybe they can sort of sort what went wrong out at the hangar and see whether they can improve. Obviously, I don't think they'll take the win, but any improvement. I mean, can it get any worse?
Well, it can, but
I hope not. Just for the sake,
it doesn't.
For the sake of like their well-being, I hope it doesn't. But surely they've got to improve from last weekend.
You'd like to think so, yeah. And Chelmsford make that long Sunday night trip to Cardiff, which I mean, fixtures-wise, I know it's very. What a job! I wouldn't want that job. Horrible job. Trying to avoid that last year of teams making that long trip to Cardiff on a Sunday. They were keeping it down, but that's pretty much the longest trip in our division.
Yeah, I think it is. Obviously, or is it Invicta Cardiff?
It's close. It's very close.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to think from Oxford, with like Chalmo and Invicta are very sort of similar distance. But I mean Cardiff from here is still like two and a bit hours. So you're looking at around like 3 hours 45, 4 hours for both sides.
Yeah, it's not a Sunday night trip. I mean, imagine the trip back. I mean, that game's not going to get done till like.
I know, because it's 7:45 face off.
So it's a 6:45 face
off.
Oh,
6:45. Okay, a bit of an hour earlier, which is better, but still, it's just a long trip. Even on a Saturday night, it's a long trip, but Sunday night, it's just obviously everyone's got work the next morning and.
They have. Moving into this weekend, actually, I've got a little something to shout out from the Queen Bees, who are playing out of the hangar in Slough. They have got an event day on Saturday the 11th, a hockey family night starting at 6:30 p.m. at the hangar. raffle draw, chuck a puck. There's a few things going on. People that are familiar with the hangar will find former Slough Jets DJ Alistair Gammon back in the DJ for this evening as well. To get on down to the hangout and go and support the Queen Bees, one of the most successful women's teams in this country. There's quite a few GB nationals in their lineup,
Yeah.
so they're very exciting to watch. So if you are obviously a Slough fan who don't have a game on Saturday, get yourselves down to the hangout and go and support the Queen Bees.
Yeah, 100%. It would be a great day.
Oh, it will be. They're some of their players that I mean, like Lily Endicott is
Lily
just
Endicott, yeah.
so good to watch. Amelia Williams, I think she's at Queen Bees this year.
I have a feeling, yeah.
I mean, she's going to be in the PWHL, 100%.
100%.
Me and Jamie McElroy have been saying that for about 3 years.
Nothing changes. No, she's a great player.
But yeah, if you say you're a Slough fan, you haven't got a game Saturday, get down to the hangar and go and see the Queen Bees. You got yourself down to the hangar and saw the Spitfires take on
I did. Yeah. So again, it was a thing of we want to watch some hockey, where's close? And obviously a few of our old Oxford players were playing as well. But no, it was a really good game. I really enjoyed it. It's really weird going to a hockey game as a neutral because I'm so used to being so supportive of a team and like being so passionate about it. But I actually really enjoyed the game, which is weird as a neutral, as like a new neutral as well. But no, it was a great game. I think Spitfire is going to do very, very well this year for their first season as a club as well. But to beat Haringey, like it was insane. It was really good.
They played last week as well, didn't they? I think it was 6-5 to Haringey.
Haringey, yeah. I mean, I spoke to a few of the Slough players, and they said that they thought that the game they played this gone weekend was worse than the weekend before, and they thought it should have been the other way with the results. They thought they should have won at Haringey, and Haringey should have won there. But no, I thought it was a really good game. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, terrific stuff from the Spitfires. Their first ever home league game, and they got their first ever
win. Yeah, which is always good because I think as soon as people see that, they're thinking, oh, like if Slough are away, like the Jets are away, and they're at home, go and watch the home match.
And you got recognised for the first time, didn't you?
It was really weird. Yeah, thanks to everyone who sort of like spoke to me about the pod and sort of congratulated me. It was it's really nice to experience.
Excellent. Well, hopefully between myself and you, we'll be getting ourselves out to as many neutral games as we can. Hopefully, as I said, Oxford City Stars, Rising Stars, maybe against Chelmsford Warriors, which I think is in February or March next year. So we'll have to getting that sorted. But for now, mate, that's it all done.
Yeah.
I guess I'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.